Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another day of Kit Conspiracy. Today's video is a some assemblage required video because I am using some products out of the monthly embellishment box. There is a really awesome title that I'm going to be using, as well as a piece of flair that is included in the embellishment box, but it is from Scrap and Happy Studios. So I'm doing a double page here, and I am using some photos of really old photos of my Girl Scouts, and we did a craft booth at a local art and wine festival one year selling the neck pillows that we used to make to earn money. So you'll see in the photos there are the girls and the booth, and then one of the pictures has the girls getting all of the stuffed animals loaded up and put together at the house so that we could take them with us. So I am digging through my branding strips. Yep, that's all my branding strips there, you guys. They're in a vase that sits at the top of my desk. I just pull it down whenever I feel like I need it. And I really like it to cover the join of the papers. I don't really like when the papers join and there's no, like, connection. Like, there's either another piece of paper or some ribbon or something like that. So I am going to do the black and pink polka dot at the bottom, the butterflies at the top, and then I pulled a couple of branding strips from some really old One Canoe 2 papers, and then I'm not sure where the butterflies came from, actually. But I thought they worked well because there's butterflies on this paper, and I didn't want anything super bold right across the middle of the two pages where they join. I wanted something kind of soft, and that pink one really just did the job for me there. The title piece that I'm going to be using says "Inhale Possibility, Exhale Creativity," and I thought that was super fitting for this because the girls really wanted to be what is known as a travel troupe, and that means they travel more places, or they travel more than they just do like camp that is local type of a deal. And so in order to do that, we needed to earn a lot of money. So it was, you know, there's a lot of possibility, but you got to be creative in how you earn your money and can afford to do that. So it wasn't just given to them. They worked really hard for it. And we were able to travel to Mexico for a 7-day cruise. We also did a river rafting trip in the Sierras. We didn't go super far. I mean, Mexico was pretty far, but we didn't do Europe or anything like that. By the time they decided they wanted to do this, they were all, you know, a little bit older. And because I had a multi-level group. There was a 3-year age difference between the oldest girls and the younger girls. We kind of had to hustle to be able to do it all. I apologize that the camera there is focusing on my head, but in order to get that straight, I really needed to get kind of over the top of everything. So I was thinking about going in a big straight line here. I don't end up doing that because it's too linear. It wasn't my jam, but I'm going to play with it for a bit here. I also really like that black acrylic because it's not a flat black. It is actually got like some roughness to some of the spots, almost like it is oxidized or something, but parts of it are black and parts are matte. I think when you see it overall, it looks like there's splatters on it if you didn't cut the actual piece of acrylic, but I really liked it because it's got a little bit of texture to it. I did decide to bring in these 2 square doilies, and I'm not a doily person by any stretch of the imagination, but I have them in my stash, and I thought this is a great one to use them up because they really frame the photos well, and because I don't have that many photos. A lot of times when I do a double page like this, I will have, I don't know, 3 or 4 more photos, probably like seven photos or so. But with only having 4, you know, I could have probably squeezed them all onto one page, but then there wouldn't be enough room for the journaling and the embellishing and all of that because the 2 bottom photos, there was really just no way I could cut them down. I could have printed them smaller, but I really wanted to kind of show the overall look of their booth setup and everything, and all that they did to get these stuffed animals displayed. So I kind of left it as it was. Now, I don't have a ton of embellishments from this particular collection. I just had the sticker sheet, which is fairly limited, and then the 3x4 cards. So I did have to pull from a couple of different areas. I am going to be using a ticket from the embellishment box from Some Assemblage Required, which is a little bit on the teal side, and so I'm going to use that. It kind of matches the green in the above the girl's head in the photo where they're all standing together. And so I thought that would work well. It also matches one of the floral pieces that I'm going to be using. So that worked very well. And then I did also pull in a yellow label from the Spectrum Sherbet collection. And I thought that worked also. So this flare piece that I am going to use says create something amazing, and it also has some paint splatters on it, so I thought that was kind of cool. I really liked the way that that looked and how it nestled in there in the corner of where the title is resting. And then I'm going to put this large butterfly. That is another thing, this particular collection, the sticker sheet, everything's pretty big on it, so it's definitely not my favorite sticker sheet that I've ever had. There's not a ton on it, and it's all pretty big, so I kind of had to really work for it on this particular collection to see what I could make work. And it does work. It comes together nicely, but it definitely wasn't as easy as when you have more options. Now, I know you can get too many options and then have, you know, that analysis paralysis where you're sitting there looking at it for days not knowing what to use. But in this particular case, it was kind of the reverse. I was stuck because I didn't quite know what to use. But it's okay. It worked. And I am happy with the way it looks at the end. So I'm kind of thinking about what else I'm going to do. I am going to build a cluster in this upper left-hand corner. I am going to end up having to move the cluster because at the very end I smudge my splatters, and so I just kind of pick up the whole cluster and move it over to hide that big old smudge that I create. So you'll see that towards the end. You know, sometimes these things happen, and it just is what it is. So anyway, I am considering also what I'm going to do my writing on, because I know I need someplace to write some stuff, and a lot of times I'll write directly on my layout, but in this particular case, with that doily back there, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. I'd have to go over to the paper portion. Writing on a doily is not something that I am willing to try. I think they bleed a little bit, and you know, there's so many little holes in it, it's just impossible. So a 3x4 card is definitely going to work a little bit better. And so in order to do that, well, I'm going to stretch everything a little bit to the left on that top row of photos, not flowers. And I am going to put a 3x4 card in there and do a little bit of writing. So in the meantime, I am using some of the embellishments in this bottom left-hand corner, some floral pieces, one of those little pre-made clusters that has like the washi tape and the little saying and a little doily sticking out, which also made me feel like this doily worked well, because it's got a doily already in the little stickers there, so I might as well just run with it, right? I do like these little tabs that they have on the sticker sheet, and you know, they're colored at the top and then they say something at the bottom, but I don't ever feel like I use the bottom portion, because I guess I could cut it off and use it, but I don't usually have my tabs sticking down below my photos, and if I flip it over from where it's at, then the writing on it's upside down. So I'm not really sure what the intention is with the writing there and how I'm supposed to use that, but I guess I need to be a little more creative about it, but I always end up using the colored side, so it is what it is. So I am attaching my title with some liquid glue there, and the reason I didn't use the glue dots is because, you know, I'm not really sure, because there are certainly some areas where it's definitely wide enough to do that. But I think because it's going on top of the doily and the glue dots, I don't know, they don't hold as well when you're putting them on that kind of a, like that tissuey kind of a surface. They could pull right off. So now I'm splattering everything with a little bit of Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine, and then I am also going to use a little bit of white linen dilutions, and then I'm going to smudge it in the upper left hand corner in just a moment here, and then I will have to go ahead and, yep, there's my smudge. I will have to go ahead and move everything over. I'm definitely not done yet anyway, but this is where I decided, okay, well, I'm going to have to cover that up. I tried putting like a little bit of Sharpie over it to see if that would even cover it up, and it doesn't. It was worth a try, but I knew I had a backup plan. I also tried putting a little ink over it just to see what it would do. But, you know, my backup plan was to move everything over, and that's what I ended up going with. So, not a big deal. It's not my first go around with smudging something. In this case, it was pretty obvious though, so I went ahead and just went with it the way it was, and adjusted everything. So luckily these things weren't stuck down super good, and I was able to just move it all over. And then I'm thinking also about, now I have this kind of blank space there, so I did add in that 3x4 card. I didn't do much else there, just tucked it in, and that's where I'm going to do my journaling. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I'll put links down below to where you can find the embellishment box from MK's shop. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below as well. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will be back again tomorrow with another video for you. So I will see you then. Thanks again for your time and your patience, and I hope that you are enjoying this series as we close it out at the end of the week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.